And the decad, we are still waiting for our last swing standing break to sell this one on H4 because we have a head and shoulders pattern, a divergence, a rejection zone in blue, and a long-term trendline rejection in brown. Now if price went up till around here, we can zoom into H1 time frame and try to find objective sell opportunities around our blue zone and long-term trendline in brown. And the DCHF, on H1 we were waiting for our last swing standing break downward to sell this one, but price went up. So for now I'm waiting in the DCHF to get around here to look for sell opportunities, which would be our long-term trendline rejection in brown and this trendline retest as well, close to our blue zone. And the DJPY, price broke above our last swing standing last week, so now we are holding a buy, running with about 0.3R. CHF JPY, price broke above this last swing standing of this objective trend line and channel, also have a divergence, but honestly I'm not entering a buy for now as price is still below our red zone, so I'm only interested in selling this one here. I'll wait for CHF JPY to break above our red zone to look for buy opportunities. Euro JPY, just like almost all JPY pairs, price broke above the last swing standing. I personally entered this one with half risk as price is still inside the red zone and I'm holding two other JPY pairs. Euro CHF, we are currently holding a sell now as price broke below our last swing standing. We entered because we have this objective trend line in orange, a divergence in red, and this rejection zone in gray. Now if price broke above our last swing standing, hitting our stop loss here, we will enter a buy. As per our H4 chart, we have a channel in blue, a divergence in blue as well, and this rejection zone in red. So as mentioned, we will enter a buy after a candle close, an H4 candle close above this last swing standing. EuroCAD, some of you may be holding a buy here as price broke above the last swing standing of this objective trend line in purple. I personally didn't enter this one as price is just below our blue zone. I am only interested in selling below it and buying above it. However, I may consider buying here if you have an objective buy setup on lower time frames, as we have a trio retest of this objective trend line in red, this blue trend line retest, and this very strong round number 1.5. So we have a trio retest 1, 2, 3, and we even have a retest of this objective trend line in purple. Euro NZD, you should have your trade running with about plus 1R if it didn't kick you out on break even. If you didn't move your stop loss to entry or just around here, we entered because we have this head and shoulders pattern, divergence, and this rejection zone in gray. Now Euro NZD is diving into our red zone and we have a divergence not completed yet, so we will be looking for objective buy setups to form around here. For those holding a sell, keep holding until our buy setup is activated. Euro AUD, just like Euro NZD, we are still holding a sell here with our stop loss on entry as price reached plus 1R. We entered because we had this objective trend line in red, rejection zone in blue, and divergence here and here. And we will be looking for buy opportunities around our red zone. Euro GBP, our sell on H4 hit our take profit last week plus 2R. Now price is sitting inside our red zone, so we'll be looking for buy opportunities on lower time frames. Now we have a divergence still forming and this objective trend line in red. While waiting for a new red dot to form around our trend line to consider it our last swing standing and enter on its break upward and above 0.87 to be a break outside our red zone. GBP CHF, just exactly the opposite of Euro GBP. Our buy setup hit our take profit plus 2R last week. Now price is sitting inside our blue zone, our rejection zone, as you can see here, and we have a divergence forming now, and we are waiting for a third touch around this trend line to be objective and to consider it our last swing standing and enter on its break downward and outside our blue zone. GBP JPY, we had a buy opportunity here last week above this last swing standing. I personally didn't enter this one as the stop loss is huge, We are still bullish overall on GBP JPY as long as price is still above this objective trend line in blue. Our first rejection zone is going to be 147 around here, which would be this long-term trend line retest, and this area objective one, as you can see, 1, 2, 3 touches, a very strong one. So we are long on GBP JPY as long as price reach around this rejection area and broke below our objective trend line in red, and we also have a divergence forming but still not completed. GBP NZD is sitting at a very strong rejection area now, our blue zone. On H1 it's retesting this objective trend line in red, on H4 it's retesting this long-term trend line in purple. We also have a divergence here on H1. For now we are waiting for a third touch to form around this trend line in orange to be objective and enter on its break downward and inside our blue zone again. GBP AUD, just like all GBP pairs, is sitting at a very strong rejection area. Here we have our blue zone and this channel in purple. On H1 we are still waiting for a third touch to form around this channel in red to consider it our last swing standing and enter on its break downward. Our last pair for this overview is going to be GBP CAD. Is also sitting at a strong rejection area around number 1.75 and this long-term trend line in purple. So now we are waiting for a new blue dot to form around our trend line to consider it our last swing standing and enter on its break downward.